Hello, great ones. Welcome to the Live and Be Great podcast. I'm your host, Latanya Sampson McDonald. I am a life coach and a registered marriage and family therapist associate. And this podcast was created to motivate, educate, and inspire all to live and be great. On today's episode, we're going to do things a little different. I want to share with you all what I've been doing. The way that I've been protesting during this time is with my purpose in this lifetime is to educate, motivate, and inspire through education. So I have two conferences that I've done, and the clips will be featured on these next few episodes of the Live and Be Great podcast. And also, the truth is, it's been an overwhelming time. I know not just for me, I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there, my listeners, it's been very overwhelming with this pandemic and this fight against racism and brutality. It's very, very difficult, and I myself had to take a little break and practice what I preach, right? Which is, that taking care of our mental health, taking a beat if we need one, and I definitely needed one, but it's not in vain. I definitely want to share with you what I've been doing on the side in hopes that it still can inspire you. I'm sure that it will. It can educate you and motivate you to protest and make a change and live life purposefully by your terms. It doesn't have to be, the by the book way or the loudest way, but as long as you feel like you're doing something to make a difference with your life's work, you're doing the right thing. So I'm going to play for you on this particular episode a rally that I did with some friends, some colleagues of mine. I'm going to play my portion, and the full rally, the link will be listed in the description of the podcast on YouTube. It's with the Fifth Column, the Fifth Wall company. We got real estate, we have people in the medical field, therapeutic field, the university, different aspects where we all came together and talked about how we're doing our part to move the community forward by providing education in our expertise. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thank you.
I'm going to unmute Latanya, who is a family and marriage counselor. So she definitely has a lot to add to that. And Tanya, make sure you put the Tag Live and Be Great podcast under in the comments as well.
Okay. Yes, just to piggyback off of everything Jade said, the truth is we live in a world that has taught us to not have time for ourselves, to not show our emotions, or else it may kill us. Like Black people are always in survival mode on a constant basis. And what a lot of people don't understand is that we've been this way for so long that it's in our DNA, okay? The effects of slavery, everybody is still carrying that. And I personally believe, and you can look up literature on this topic, that the majority of Black people are prone to depression if they don't already have it. And what people also don't understand is our depression doesn't look like everybody else's depression. Our depression looks like we get up and go to work every day, period, because we have to. So we're taught to be in this constant cycle of being overworked and underappreciated, and these subhuman human beings Basically, we can do everything and we can endure so much. We can just take it and take it and take it. But where does it all go? It affects your mental health. It affects your body. They're both connected. Okay, whatever is going on here affects here. It does. It comes out in your relationships. It comes out in the way you treat your children. The child abuse rate is at an all-time high right now. All-time high. And it doesn't have to be. If parents understood that it is their ancestral right to take care of themselves. It is okay to talk to a therapist that is culturally competent, right? That looks like you, because we're out there. We actually joined the profession to talk to our people, because honestly, I'll tell you the truth. What's in the textbooks when I got my master's degree, right? Ain't nothing about us. So a lot of what we're doing is because we know the experience, and that looks different, because everything that deals with mental health and physical health, any type of health, is based off of a cisgendered white male perspective. It has nothing to do with us and what we endure. So our children, Black people, you're fighting two wars, right? So you got to deal with poverty and be Black. You got to deal with high blood pressure and be Black. You got to put food on the table and be Black. You got to deal with death and be Black. All these different things, and nobody is accounting for, nobody understands that you must account for the thing that we cannot change. There is no book that none of the therapists have, right, that teach us how to cope with the fact that for the rest of our lives, we will be treated as less than human because of something that we cannot change, which is the color of our skin. Black people, take care of yourself. Put yourself first. Talk to somebody, okay? Because you talking to somebody is giving your ancestors a voice. Honestly, they didn't have time, because if they took the time to really process everything that was going on, you're right, we wouldn't be here, because it is a lot. And that is no longer what's happening in the streets right now. That can no longer be taken lightly, because what we're also doing is teaching other people how to treat our children and how to treat us. Because if we keep showing up to work today, right, knowing we hate this job, knowing we needed to put food on our table, but it's taking everything from us, why would they stop treating us like that? Because we also have to hold ourselves accountable, because we have to take care of ourselves too. Give yourself permission. I know we want to be strong and we want to be amazing and be great, but it starts with taking the cape off, because we take care of everybody else and we do not take care of ourselves, especially you Black women. The most devalued, okay, the most unappreciated, right? Serena, Beyonce, both had crazy health complications when they were given labor. So it don't matter how much money you have, because a lot of us feel like once we get the money, all right, everything will be good. The happiness will be there. Why do you think a lot of your grades are falling? Okay, you're finding out, oh, this person was a rapist. Okay, this person committed suicide. Why do you think that is? Because people are equating this with prosperity and happiness. No, it all starts here. It all starts here. Everybody's striving to get what looks good, right? They taught us wrong. It all starts here. Here is the power, and here is how we're going to survive. We have to take care of here. So give yourself permission. It is your ancestral right to give them a voice and do what they couldn't do, which is heal yourself, mind, body, and spirit. Do better.
Yes, that was a whole life segment. I was like, yes, I feel that. So thank you for sharing that. And I think too, a good thing about this forum is, as you talk and as you get it out, you realize that there's a lot of commonalities amongst, right? So when you hold it in, you think like, oh, I'm by myself. Let me suck it up and let me keep it moving. But as you shared, it's okay to just kind of say, not today. I'm not okay today. And it's healthier that way. So thank you for giving us that message.
And also allow your children to have a space to say what is going on, because a lot of us didn't get that, right? Because our parents were also taught that they didn't have time for it. So if you ain't paying bills, you don't have no emotions, right? You don't feel nothing. Oh, I gotta toughen you up here because the world is not gonna treat you well, right? But you didn't realize that you're asking your children to fight two wars, a war outside and a war in the house. A lot of us had to go through that. Okay, a lot of us had to feel the anger and the frustration of our parents being overworked that had nothing to do with us, and none of us asked to be here. Okay, so do not silence your child. Ask a Black child, if you have one in your house, how are you feeling? It's very difficult because you probably were never given that, right? But like, it'll bring so much healing, not only to you, but your line and the line after that and the line after that, that comes after you, to have a space and let people know it's okay to have emotions and feel something, because we do feel something. That's why you see the rioting and the looting, right? Okay, we understand, all right, don't tear stuff up. What are we going to get accomplished that way? But the issue is America has taught us to value materials more than we do the Black body and everything about the Black body, inside and out. So we have to reprogram ourselves. And how you do that, how you connect to it, right, is remembering how it felt to be that little boy or that little girl that was told, okay, for the rest of your life, you're going to have to work 10 times harder, right, to get half as much for the rest of your life, and there's nothing you can do about it. Our parents didn't even give us time to process that. We had to quick get in the books, get the grades. I don't want to hear it, right? Don't allow your kids to have to do this same stuff they're doing right now in 50 years. It starts with having a place to process things and demand the care for our emotions and how we're being treated. Because if we don't, we're talking about another 50, 100 years of Black people not having a space to take the cape off.
Exactly.
I got a question for you, Tanya.
Because my little one be ready to express her feelings. I don't even know where she gets this from, but she will tell you exactly how she feels. That I didn't like that. That hurt my feelings.
From you.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
Go ahead, Nay.
You continue to do that, because I always ask you, Kim. I was like, so she just tells you everything.
Yeah.
It's different. I like that though. But Tanya, I do have a question for you. I think our generation does understand how important mental health is and the stigma of it. It doesn't. We get it. It's mm-hmm. We understand it more. We may not be incorporated into our lives as much, but we're getting it. But what about our parents, their parents, the ones? How do we like get to them? How do we like get that stigma off them? Oh, there's nothing wrong with me, or I don't want to, how do we get that Black community, that group of people, like I said, our parents, their grandparents, the baby boomers, how do we get those to understand the importance of mental health and how to get, treatment for it and help for it, because those are the most vulnerable.
It starts with acknowledgement, right? Because everybody, their worst human fear is to be misunderstood. Once you're doing your own work, every therapist will connect everything back to your childhood, right? So you got a parent that a lot of people don't know what their parents' full story is, like the stuff that counts. Because our parents feel like, okay, I want to protect you from this. And if I don't tell you about it, it won't happen. But little do you know, we done repeated the same cycle, right? From abuse to molestation, all types of traumatic things that our parents felt like, no, let me withhold this. I'm over it. I'm good. And if I don't tell you, then it won't happen. Have these conversations about their childhood, right? Because you can connect it. Like when your mom gets angry, when your dad gets angry, there's a certain thing everybody can revert back to a story when they got their worst either talking to, okay, or their worst whooping. Everybody can revert back to that story. And if you really look at it, what is somebody that's angry? Does it not look like a child? Okay, when somebody's throwing a temper tantrum, that's who was going off on you back then, right? So giving them that space to say, you know what, this hurt me, but I understand it. Tell me what was unaddressed. What is it that you're not telling me? What happened to you? Well, how was your relationship with mom? How was your relationship with dad? And then ask, how did it make you feel? When you force them to put a feeling to that emotion and to that memory, you don't know what you just opened. You just gave that little 7-year-old that's been screaming at everybody a voice. And that's usually what I've had parents from underprivileged communities to super privileged communities, okay? Affluent communities. And I'm usually with the child. And a lot of the reasons why the kids act out is it's a direct reflection, because kids are a manifestation of their parents' unresolved issues. Soon as I get that parent in and I ask them about their childhood, it's a wrap. They see it clearly, because it's about intention. Yeah, you know, your parent didn't mean to give you psychological issues for the rest of your life, right? But we have to figure out the why so that you don't repeat it. Because if you don't know the why, next thing you know, you, your mom, and you, your dad, and that resentment of what was unresolved in the past has now come back up to seek payment in the way you treat your children. So it's about providing a place of understanding. And if you're going to therapy, take your parent to therapy too, right? Your therapist, if they're competent, if you like them, right, and you feel like they're doing what they're supposed to do with you, take them to a session and have it be just about the parent, so they can see, so they can take their cape off. Because we understand why our parents work hard. They remind us every day, like, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. We know, right? But the fact that people are missing is that you shouldn't have to do all of these things and deal with racism. That's the part where we should all be connecting. Every bloodline should be connecting and being able to have that real decision. Not just, oh, well, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna cry about it? You know, we Black, what, we can't change it, so why talk about it? No, let's talk about it and process that, because me and you have the same story. So that's what works for me. I'm not just speaking out of, you know, a dream and what I think is gonna happen. I've had this experience with families, white, Black, Latino, Asian. I've had it. And that's what you do. You validate the humanality of the person. Give them the space to do that, right? And say, and if it's something that you still got beef with about whatever they did, listen, I understand that you know, you were just working with the tools that you had, but this hurt me. So I need to understand what hurt you that will make you do this to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wanted to ask, so you brought up how Black women and their mental health, like, the reason I ask is because I coach a team of 30 Black women at this Black school with a Black woman as a head coach. And I see so many different personalities, so many different just personal perspectives that I find myself having to mediate for. A lot of angry women on the team, a lot of depressed women on the team. It's a lot of, and this is for sports as a whole. Like, I don't think I understand how prevalent the Black woman is in college athletics. I personally feel like Black women can take advantage of any athletic aspect of college funding in any sport if they really wanted to put their mind to it, because they're well qualified athletically, mentally, like they're able to handle everything in college athletics. And I just see a lot of angry women, like with personal issues, not necessarily just like social issues. It's a lot of different things that I see. And I just try to understand as much as I can from my perspective. I try to listen, like you said. But what do we do about bringing that age group to therapy? Like, it's one thing to have a younger child in grade school go to therapy because you could kind of
make them go.
But this is somebody that's an adult now, and at this point in time, their parent is still in their ear, very, very much so, just because they're still transitioning out of being a child. So I see a lot, and it's a lot of parents I talk to, and I'm like, I see why your child. How do we get this group that's Gen Z right now, like the people that's out there protesting right now, to understand the importance of talking to somebody about their issues, about their problem?
It starts with understanding the pressure that is placed on Black women. And a lot of us, and ladies, you can shake your head, okay, if you agree, started being everything from the family grade school age, right? I was my mom's therapist, okay? I was her best friend. Sometimes I was her husband, right? And I had 3 older brothers. So there's a lot of programming in the Black community and with white supremacy that kind of gears Black women to be by themselves and take everything the world has, but be by yourself. So what you're seeing is the anger and the frustration because everybody around them has taught them that this is what you do. You be strong, you suck it up, and you do what you have to do. You don't have time to cry. So we don't get to be little girls. We don't get to cry when we have a stop. I'll give you something to cry about. That's what we get, even from like our male counterparts. It could be our dad, right, in the home that does not know or has succumbed to that treatment of Black women. It's in the music that we listen to, right? The disrespect. This could be like a Black woman has, but so many rappers she can really look up to that even finds her attractive. Because when she could be like, oh, I love Chris Brown or I love Lil Wayne, and they're colorist, right? They don't find them desirable. And people are giving them the scraps, asking everything of them and giving them scraps, nothing. Nobody's standing up for them. If you look at the protests right now, you see Black women of every age in the front, right? For George Floyd. But didn't Breonna Taylor just pass? Where was her vigil? Where was her protest? Right? And you see Black women begging and pleading for somebody to love them, that they'll risk their baby girl because the baby girl's coming out there with their mom and their mom is putting them in the front. They're not even thinking, oh, there's rubber bullets and there's gas. They're not even thinking that, because what you have taught yourself, you have now taught your little girl, because you haven't realized that I can have better. I deserve better. Nobody's around you. The system hasn't given you the view that it will step up for you and protect you. So where do you go? Yeah, okay, we put everything into basketball. We put everything into sports, into the books and things of that nature, but where does it go? So what you're seeing is that part. So they need somebody to be able to understand. And you as a Black man, oh my goodness, if you were able to bring this information to them, you don't know what it will do for them to see that you see them, because a lot of them don't have that. They're used to actually being over masculinized because this is what the world is asking of them, you know? So for you to say, okay, listen, let's have a tea party, or let me bring some women in here so we can have like a brunch and y'all get your best church hats or some nice dresses, right? Some mentors, so we can talk about what it is to be a lady. You know, we don't have that. People don't treat us like that. So you have to be aware and not support the people that are pushing these images. You know, you don't support these images. If you see something that says keep calm, I have a black son, right? You should be posting keep calm, I have black children, because you just erased your daughter. And I know you didn't mean to. But that's the lack of education and us being used to getting the least, right? So having these conversations, have a powwow and say that you understand and that you're empathetic to the fact that the world devalues you. And let me know what I can do as your coach, as a black man, to empower you, right? Not to put everything on you and to make you over strong and to make you handle everything, but what you're going through matters, and I want to do better as your mentor for you because I see what's going on. And don't have them see you listening to Lil Wayne or Chris Brown or anybody that pushes that narrative that black women are beneath everything. To Blueface, all these, there's so many people. Who do we have to look up to that will fight for us?
Now I will say, like Tommy Reaper can take like count on me for this. I don't listen to that trash.
That's good.
You don't.
They have their perception, they have their idea of what's cool. Like you said, a very, very important part. Like music goes a long way. Like I don't think they understand how much they feed into music, feed into their environment, feed into any and everything that they listen to, read, watch, do. And now that, I'll tell you right now, that won't be anything that I change, simply because music is music and people are gonna want to do and listen to what they want to. And I've walked out there plenty of times to the track. I need to turn that off because it's trash, complete trash. So the music thing, I can't.
Yeah, but also it's also like if you work with guys or whatever the case may be, it's also starting a conversation with them too about what they're listening to. Especially like you will see black men that have daughters, right? That idolize somebody who doesn't even view their daughter as a beautiful being. So it's all about also programming and you also being able to have conversations with men that you see that don't have the education to understand that they're also pushing this negative narrative, because you will see black men and black women that have daughters that are going through the same things that your players are going through, but don't see how they contribute to the problem. You know, so once anybody understands what some of the issues are, let's have a conversation. You can even do it. You don't have to be in an abrasive way, you know, just be like, you know what, I can't fool with this dude. I can't mess with him. Let me tell you why. You know, start the conversation. Don't be afraid of that.
If I may, I was going to say too, diet, you know, your diet is not just what you eat. Everything that you take in, what you look at, what you hear, what you're surrounded by, the people that you allow within your square, the people that you have to be around for work, whatever the situation is, it's all part of your diet. And you have to think about the diet that these kids and everybody else are being exposed to, even us. I mean, we're the difference is we're old enough to be able to look around and to have seen certain things come down the pike and recognize it as, you know, as something that's harmful, something that's poison. I feel like we have to utilize our consciousness. We have to utilize our consciousness. There's so many people that they're not in supportive therapy. They hear anything near it, around it, about it, and they shut everything off. Okay. And it has nothing to do with the actual therapy itself. It has to do with the ignorance and the perception that's been given, or even bad experiences and certain things that have been come across because a lot of people have used therapy in the past as punishment. Oh, well, you don't get this straight, I'm gonna have to send you to therapy. You see what I mean? Oh, well, something's wrong and you need to go to therapy. They don't look at it as self-care. It's not looked at in regards to healing or something for maintenance to be able to keep you going, for you to be able to progress in your life. It's looked at as, it's frowned upon and looked at as, oh, well, I can't tell anybody I'm in therapy. So personally, what I think is, what I know in regards to that, these girls that you have access to, these other students you have access to, everyone that you have access to has access to you. They have access to your consciousness. The other people that are around you that are cut of a certain cloth or have certain things to be able to offer. We come in and we teach, we love, and we provide without it being something that's spoken. Without having to come in and say, hey, I'm going to give you some therapy right now. Come in and start talking.
Yes.
Come in and start speaking, just having the conversation, listen to what they're saying and piggyback off of it. Ask simple questions sometimes, even when it's not necessary. When you see certain behavior, whatever it is, take those little chances that you have, because what you're getting hit with, that energy is hitting you for a reason. Because let me tell you, there's 50 million people walking around these kids every day that have no idea this is what they're going through.
Yep.
And don't care. You see what I mean? So being able to utilize your consciousness, the people that you have around you, your network, we don't have to individually ask everybody to get into therapy. I'd love to. You know what I mean? That a lot of them say no, whatever the situation is. We can just start giving it to them. Before they even realize that's what it is, and then turn around and figure out and find out that the person that they've been talking to all the time, that they didn't even know was a therapist, or they didn't know this other stuff that they've been getting this. So before they realize it, not only are they in therapy, but they're also giving those tools that they're being given subconsciously to someone else. So really, it's just not being afraid to get in and be the change, and be what it is that they really want to see, because they need it. We got to do stuff because it's necessary, not because somebody wants something or anything else. It needs to happen. It's like babies. Babies need food, they need clothing, and they need to be taken care of. They don't know that. They just know they're cold, hungry, and uncomfortable. So we got to go ahead and get in there. That's all there is to it.
That should be what we consider now tough love, instead of what we were talking about earlier about how, you feel you crying, I'll give you something to cry about. Instead of that needs to be reverted as a replacement behavior, and that should be our tough love.
That's it.
That's it. That's the key.
Yep.
That is true.
Now we got to change the norms. We got to change the culture. We take the negativity. We always look at, if we take this away, what are we going to replace it with? What are we going to have now? That's it. Just replace negative with positive. Replace things that are poisonous with things that are going to uplift, and make it a conscious part of the behavior and thought. Make it a consciousness of mind. It has to be, because we're already programmed in a certain fashion from prior, and it's generational and it's cellular. So the first thing to come out of our mouth sometimes, once we're tired, we've been working too long, everything else, is, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time to deal with your issues. I don't have time to deal with your issues. I barely got time to deal with my issues, and I ain't got but 2 hours to sleep.
Tommy,
So,
you want to throw in there?
I think everybody has had wonderful things to say this entire run. I'll just be very brief. First off, cosign, advocating for Black women. They definitely need our help. Just to add in what Latanya was saying, though, in terms of Black women, being the most unappreciated. I know from the perspective of Black men, Black people as a whole, we have a lot of brainwashing to get through, a lot of healing to do, and that communication aspect is not gonna be effective until we all heal. I will go out on a limb and say I feel like Black men hate themselves more than they hate Black women. I feel like Black men hate themselves more than they hate any other person, any demographic, anything. You're not gonna find anything else a Black man hates more.
There's something there.
And I don't even mean like hating his own brother. I mean, a black man hates himself. Like, he hates the fact that he has to be what it means to be black. He hates he has to go through that loop, that he has to do that on top of toxic masculinity. So yeah, I don't think that bond that black men and black women need to have, that's not happening until self-love happens. And so that's going to have to be a major push before we ever see what we had before civil rights. After civil rights, that's really when they broke up the black home. That's really when they divided us, because they saw, oh, this is what y'all can do when y'all unified. So I need for y'all to be divided, because I got some other things I need to do to your race. But yeah, I'm all for co-signing black women. We do need to be advocates for them. There aren't a lot of people out here advocating for black women. I can actually be envious of black women in that regard, in saying that black women support other black women more than any other group supports anybody. And as black men, we really should take a step back and look at what black women are doing right now for each other, because we follow that same model, then, it's unlimited amount of success we can see for ourselves. Going on to mental health, mental self-care, I'm sorry. I feel like over the past few years, I personally have been very invested in the plight of black people, what we've been going through with social injustice. Around 2018, I became very traumatized and depressed due to my own personal issues. And I feel like I didn't come out of that stuff until maybe a month ago or so. So for me, I don't want to say I feel selfish, but a part of me is like real happy and giddy, because, I was depressed for 2 years, and then I come out of it, and I come out of it to COVID-19, to racial disparity. Us seeing it more again. I come out of whatever was going on in my head. I come out of it and I walk into a world that's burning, and I feel like it's so important that we as a people understand that you don't have to be attached to everything to know what you need to be fighting. I don't have to watch any video. I don't have to hear you protest, because I've gone through that. I've seen years of that. What I have to now do is cover my bases. I have to make sure that I'm healthy. I have to make sure my family's healthy. I have to make sure my bills are paid. I have to make sure that everything that's a foundational thing, I have to make sure those are all good before I can expand my mind and then help in any other aspect. Black people are trying to escape a rat race that we started 100 miles behind on the finish line. I mean, 100 miles behind the starting line. I'm sorry. Just trying to rush through these points I had written down. We started 100 miles behind the starting line of white people. So now you're trying to graduate high school, find a college that you want to go to, get a job, pay your bills, be successful, trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to start a business. If you're trying to start a brand, trying to do all of those things while trying to catch up to the 100 miles you were behind the white people, and catch up, to get to get to the starting line. And so you're trying to do all of that while you're trying to succeed in life. I think Black people really got to look at themselves and say, hey, I might need a break. I might need to pause. I might need to have a boring life right now and handle, those primary things I need to care for before I can move on.
Jay Astro said that at the beginning of the quarantine, like maybe this is a good time for us to pause. And everything that you just said, Jay said that at the beginning of quarantine.
Yeah, you sometimes, like, we're hell bent on building when you forget that there's this thing called maintenance as well. Sometimes you can't go get a new car. Sometimes you got to get the used car and do some work on it. And Black people, we got this big car or this big truck or whatever we're in, and we're not doing any kind of maintenance work. We got to get under the hood. We got to fix what's already been wrong. This car we're in, it's been in 15 different accidents, and we haven't changed the tire. We haven't changed the oil. We haven't done anything. But we think we're going to get in the car and we're going to drive this uphill up Mount Everest and be successful at that. That's not going to happen. Your car is broken down. Your car, it needs to be fixed. And so we have to do that personally. We have to fix we just had a slew of reasons of things that we have to fix in the Black community, from racial disparity, financial disparities, from Black home ownership to different situations we're having in the hospitals with our doctors and nurses. All of these things are problems, but all of these things are base level things in your life. Your home is a base level thing. Your health is a base level thing. So if all of these things are out of whack, I don't see how we're ever gonna build bricks on top of this foundation that has all kind of cracks and stuff in it. So that's really the point I want to hit on from what everyone else has been saying up until this point, is that maybe Black people as a whole, we do have to take a step back and do some maintenance work before we can build with all the solutions that we have. The wonderful solutions, and I think that Black people as a whole, we're gonna get out of this because we don't have a choice. Either we're gonna sit there and have, a literal knee on our neck the whole time, or we're gonna do something about it. I just think, there's nothing wrong with taking a step back and having a healing process, a come to yourself process, making sure that you know that you can step out there on the front lines and you're not worried about losing your house once you step outside of your house.
Thank you, Tommy. All of that makes sense. All of that. And this was some needed reflection time, this downtime that, was a gift and a curse. Nobody wants to be sick. Nobody wants to be infected. But a lot of us needed to sit down and really think about our health. We needed to think about what's the next steps in our life, what's our future looking like. We need to spend time with our friends and our family. Some people, this has been the longest span that they've had to get to know their own children, because not all of us can afford to be stay-at-home moms. Not our jobs might not gear us to that. Some of us don't have the, fortunate jobs to allow us to be at home. But this was a much needed break to say that we can do some of this stuff from home. A lot of this work, we don't have to go off in the office and do. A lot of things we can do right here in our own homes and do it just as well. And we can still have that time to be with our families and take care of our own households and take care of ourselves. Like, do you guys remember that feeling right at the start of the quarantine? Because most of us weren't afraid of the virus. We were happy that we didn't have to go to work. we
Are you in line?
I was happy I didn't have to go to school. I didn't have to see patients. I just wanted a break from the world.
We wanted a break.
Yeah. But the only thing I was scared of is when they, how media is, they blow it up. They start showing you the lines at Walmart, the lines at the grocery store. Oh, you need to go, you need to go, you need to do this, everything, tissue running out, all this. So, and that's when things started going crazy for me. I'm like, oh, so now we about to run out of stuff. This ain't gonna be like a chill thing at the house.
Yeah, like that, like the media sent our anxiety through the roof. But right when it was like the stay-at-home orders came out, we was like, I ain't got to set no alarm to go to work. I ain't got to pull no clothes out for the next day. Let me keep this hair wrapped. I ain't going to class. That test going to be online. That homework assignment got pushed back. Every day, that shows you how much we needed a break. That would show you how much everybody felt like they needed a minute to just sit at home and chill out and take a break. That's how badly we needed it. That people were excited that there was a quarantine stay-at-home order about to happen, that they could stay home. Let me save some gas money. Let me eat my own food. My kids get to stay with me. I get to sit and talk with them. I get to have time to make them home-cooked meals and sit and play games with them, get to know them more, because now they're home with me more. They get to know me a little bit better. We're not so separated right now. And it helps build a closeness and a bond. And even when the rest of the world opens back up, even though Georgia and Florida, we've been open, but when everybody else open back up, there's things that we're going to still take with us out of this quarantine, because now we've set up habits and bonding time with our family that we don't want to give up. We realized how precious our time was, and we realized that job I can do this from home. I don't care about that. I will call out in a minute. They will be fine. This teacher, you know what? It's a pandemic going on. I might need a little bit extra time on this assignment because they now know exactly, and they can't fault you for it because it's a lot going on in the world, health-wise, and business-wise, and with us, politically and socially, that our mental health is just important as the physical health. And it's okay to say, I need a day. It's okay.
Well, I'm gonna say one thing. When it first happened, I was excited more so of the fact that me and my family, we had a plan. Like, I come from a family where we're like survivalists, and we think about, okay, well, Mitra's good with communicating with people. My brother's good with computers. We got mama over here with a green thumb. Daddy and baby brother can go out here and shoot the animals. And you know what? We good because we're gonna guard the fortress. We all got it. We good. I was so excited. Like, y'all, well, Dublin folks in here know who I'm married to. We were talking about going back to Dublin. It might be a desert, but it won't be a desert in a Turner home because it's just the way we were raised. Like, tissue, what's tissue? You better go get you a rag and wrench that thing out. Like, so I'm gonna be honest, like, I was excited because like my soul was like, oh, we finna go back to when things really meant. Like, we're gonna go back to being with our family and be able to have that unity with, that's why I was excited, to be honest.
That we felt that, and that showed you that we needed a break. So it's okay. And like the Black people, take you a longer break, okay? Because we fighting several battles out here, okay? There's a lot going on. It's okay. I appreciate all of my non-Black friends and family who have been reaching out to me, the calls, the text messages, using your voice, using your platform, using your privileges to say something. And it's something that I haven't seen in a long time. And I'm glad to know that you guys are with us. Black people, and I'm going to say this, y'all need to make sure you exercise your right to bear arms. I know weapons are scary.
Please.
They are, but we don't know what's happening in this world right now. This is unprecedented times. We don't
in the ground state
about what's going on. We don't know. We've never had to deal with a plague and all these social justice issues, all of this at one time. This and the economy is just crazy. We're in a political race for presidency. It's a lot going on. We can't predict what's going on in other people's mind right now. Exercise your right to bear arms. Protect yourself and your families any way that you can. Get you a Ring doorbell. Get you a dog. Mine ain't that big, but I guarantee she let me know if anybody is around this premises. She give us enough time to strap up.
Okay.
That's all we need. She gonna let us know if anybody, any soul spirit even come near this premises. She might go run and hide under the bed, but that's okay. You let us know, we can take it from there. So make sure you guys stay safe. Continue to use your voice. Continue to use your platform. Y'all, we are still all in this together. The race is not over. We still got a lot to go within politics and presidency. Georgia is, we got a voting week ahead of us. Y'all get out there and exercise your right to vote. Please do that. I know it's just, we're not really feeling how candidacy is going right now, but too many of us died to have this.
I know how it's going. If you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't Black.
Oh, don't start this. Don't start this. No, we have bad choices, but we still have to make a choice.
I said
we got real bad choices.
It's like Dumb and Dumber. We still need to go out and show them we're going to vote anyway, regardless of what they're going to say. We're still going to show up. We're going to show up. We're going to protect ourselves. We're going to march for our rights until we get them. These petitions are out. You guys, please follow the Fifth Wall not just on Facebook, but follow us on Instagram at VTHWALL. We have different resources on our page about where you can donate petitions to sign, how you can support other people. Follow us, look in the comments. We put all types of resources in there for you guys. This video is going to stay on Facebook, and we're going to like it and share it all week because there was hella information in here. I am so glad to be surrounded by these wonderful people. I love you, my Dublin crew. We've been, like, y'all have been live since we were little. We've been hanging in there forever. Y'all are wonderful. My blue and gold family. Thank you guys for showing up for me today. My sister, who's both family, Dublin and blue and gold family.
All three.
What about that blue and orange though?
Savannah State University. That
Okay, don't leave our SSU.
you folks, you know, we in there.
Well, we got GSU, Georgia State, and Georgia Southern.
Okay, come on, all out. All out.
The full rundown.
Y'all ain't
Okay, where y'all from? Where you from? What you did?
Y'all ain't need Savannah State Tigers. But thank you guys. This was wonderful. I'm gonna try to get another one of these in later on. I hope you guys are still going to be available to do this again. This was really good information. If you know somebody that has something to add to the conversation, let them know. Tell them to message us. We're here. We're all in this together. And besides going to work and coming home, this is still it. We're still semi-quarantined because a lot of places are still closed. And some of us want to be around people and germs and stuff anyway. Protesters, y'all be safe. I'm not going to judge how you express your feelings towards what's going on, but watch your back and be safe. Because a lot of people still are going to see you as a threat out there just for expressing your rights. So watch your back, be safe. We are a resource. All of us here are resources. All of our information is on this page and in the comments below. Contact us if you need anything, if you know a way to help, if you want to help. Here.
Even if you just want to have a conversation, like,
if you want advice on something, you got therapists in this group, you got coaches in this group, you got doctors in this group, medical people, artists, creators, just professionals in this group. If you need, you just need a place to vent, let us, we are here. That's what this is for, to provide a resource for us. That's what we're doing, is supporting.
And Kima, if I can jump in real quickly, I know today we discussed about my real estate background, but before I was in real estate or became a realtor, I was in human resources for over 10 years. And so that's another resource to tap into, especially now where people are losing their jobs, and some people have been at the same job ever since they got out of school, right? And so, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you haven't thought about a resume, LinkedIn or anything else. And so, it's a whole new world from maybe when you were getting into the workforce. And so how to make that pivot. So I just wanted to put that out there as well.
Exactly, like multifaceted people over here. Most of us do 3-4 different jobs.
Right.
Yes. We do 3-4 different jobs, and I'm a therapist that has a therapist. So don't play me, okay? I'm not, where do I have to take all this stuff, right? I need to drop it on her, okay? So no excuse.
Exactly. As a mental health counseling student, it is strongly encouraged that we seek counseling. It is pushed for us. So yes, y'all need to go get your healing. If you don't even want to use the word therapy and counseling, like Chris was talking about, you call it something else: life coaching, spiritual guidance.
Yes, I'm both life coaching,
conversation, a brunch, something that you're. A prayer circle, wherever you can get us to get in there and get this information.
However, I gotta trick y'all to love on y'all.
There you go. There you go. If we can't call it
Get it
nothing else,
tough love.
call it love. Call it love.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna beat you over the head with all of this love. That's how that gonna go.
That's
You gonna get all of this self-care.
My husband would say they do this at the barbershop when they're sitting around and having these conversations. Thank you for watching Trinity for me, because if you didn't, I wouldn't be able to sit here peacefully. But thank you guys so much for doing this and reaching out. Like I said, this is something that we all kind of cherished and wanted to do, and all have in our mindset is when we get the we want to reach back. And this is a circle of network. We all help each other out, and this is great. And this is us bringing our call to action and our rally for social justice and community resources, support of the Black community, and letting you know, our non-Black people know that we see you for helping us. Thank you for using your privilege for our benefit. We see you. Thank you. Let's keep supporting and loving each other and healing each other. We have to heal ourselves for that to radiate to everybody else. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and follow us, the comments, like and repost everything, you guys. Thank you guys for coming out and listening to us. And we will do this again soon, you guys.
See y'all
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love
Be
you.
blessed, everybody.
You
All
too.
right now.
Bye.
The Live and Be Great podcast will be airing every other Friday. If you have truly enjoyed this podcast, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving Live and Be Great a chance. Please feel free to share, like, give a review, subscribe on whichever platform that you're listening to right now, on iTunes or Apple Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, as well as Google Play. The Live and Be Great podcast is strictly crowdfunded, so if you are interested in becoming a supporter, you can click the link in the description, or you can go to liveandbegreat.com and scroll to the bottom and donate to the Live and Be Great podcast today, so I can continue to give you good and motivational content. Thank you all for listening, and don't forget to give yourself permission to live and be great.